Hey guys, this is Mike from Deepwood Force of Will coming at you with yet another Skype interview. This time we've got a very good friend of mine. This is Adam Kohler, not Kober, as you would come to realize, who got top 8 at our ARG Maryland at HQ Games. Yep. Adam, how long have you been playing this game?
About 3 months now, 2.5, 3 months.
This guy's impressive. This guy's really working hard and wreaking havoc on the metagame, so it's my pleasure to say that I helped teach him how to play the game. And
It was like the Friday before the last pre-release. You just sat down and showed me how to play, right? At
yeah,
the
it
arena.
was cool. And look where you've come. You've taken over the master.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
No, but you did great. You did phenomenally well. People recognize that Mercurius is a scary deck. Spoilers, he played Mercurius. And yeah, well, you know what? I'm just going to pass it to you right now. I want to hear how about your experiences. I want to hear how you thought you did and what the whole experience of your first like big ARG finish was.
So the event was, well, first off, thanks for that. And the event itself was a lot of fun. Met a lot of cool people. Of course, the Miles brothers. I had met them at States in New York, but didn't really have too much of a conversation with them at the time. I was kind of overwhelmed trying to figure out what all the cards did. 'Cause I was only playing for maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
But this particular event, I brought Mercurius because I piloted at the locals, and of course, if you look at Facebook at any point in time, you can see everybody saying, "Oh, well, you can't judge anything by the locals," which I absolutely agree with. I felt pretty confident and comfortable with it going into things, especially since I played the earlier variants of Feethsing at States, so I had a pretty good grasp of the deck, although it has evolved quite a bit since then. I think the deck performed really well, and even though I top aided, I don't feel as though it performed nearly. I don't believe it performed nearly as well as it could have. My first game was against, I think it was James Olsen, I believe his last name was, but he was just an incredible Feethsing player. I mean, you could see he's kind of a quiet guy, but all of a sudden he would just kind of go into his turn and you could see the gears going, and he played everything flawlessly. First game, we really battled it out. It was very, very difficult going into that, excuse me, first game, but he wound up taking the lead. And then second game, my combo went off pretty quickly, and he just said, "You know what, let's go to third game." Third game, again, it was a pretty grueling battle. He actually won it because he had a couple of Titanias on the board, and he attacked with a Titania. And I had an Astaroth on the board, and I was at like 24. And I thought, okay, well, he could attack with the Titania. I had two Valentinas in my hand. I would take both of them next turn and just swing for the win. But he actually wound up using Earther and then Volga on me and just sacrificing his Titanias and dealing like 1,400 damage to me after I took the 1,200. So that was definitely unexpected.
Volga was a big performer in that tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Then I played a couple other decks. I played Valentina 2.0. Quite honestly, I've never played against Valentina 2.0 before, so I had no idea what I was doing. I went 1-2 against it. I probably could have done much better had I known what to expect, but he played it very well. I also played a Zero deck, and then a really good Charlotte deck. I think his name was Scott Whittle. That Charlotte deck was just phenomenal, and I really just he took everything out of my hand, and I got incredibly lucky. He left one Rising from the Depths in my hand, third game, and I just was very lucky enough to keep drawing into hooks. So I kept playing the hooks right off the draw, setting him back, and then he kind of regained board control. But luckily, I had the two hooks out, attacked, played Rising from the Depths without awakening to return the hooks back to my hand, played another hook, and then that was game from there. And then of course top 8 I played Ryan Miles, and it was funny because Ryan seemed to be really anxious about playing it against the Mercurius deck, but of course playing against Ryan Miles, you could see that he knows every best possible play to make. So I'm kind of just sitting there thinking, yeah, no, he's got this. But I guess he thought my combo was going to go off because
people fear the combo, dude. People really fear the combo.
Well, statistically speaking, both games I went 0-2 against Ryan. Both games, statistically, I should have had the combo go off. The first game, I had every piece that I needed. I didn't draw any resonators except the Valentina. Even if I had one hook, I probably could have stayed in the game. But he played it very well and took that. And then the second game, I just couldn't draw into Arising from the Depths. I played, I think, 2 Ancient Knowledges that game, and I still couldn't draw into it. So there's not much you could do about that. RNG is definitely a thing.
Can't break variance.
Yeah, I just can't do it. But and plus, I'm pretty sure in the second game he had a Seal of Wind and Light in his hand anyway, because he drew through like half of his deck. So I probably first game, maybe if I drew a hook, I could have probably taken it. But second game, especially since he had that seal, there was nothing really I could do about that.
Right. What can you do? But hey, you played it off well. You searched through the deck. You just couldn't find the right stuff at the right time. And I think that's definitely a big factor for a lot of combo decks, which is why they do tend to struggle a little more against Feetsing. But...
Yeah, and the thing is, the reason why I liked Mercurius is because with Feetsing, it just, even when I played it, it was just so difficult to deal with everything on the board at the same time. So I thought Mercurius was good because not only can you just bring everything back to their hand, pretty much say, okay, thanks for sacrificing everything to things like Guinevere and whatnot to search for everything else. But then you could also set them back with the hooks and take control of the board presence. So it is very good, but I have to admit, Feetsing's definitely more consistent just because of the draw factor, I think.
There's a lot of consistency factors. Guinevere's an insane draw engine.
Yeah.
It is unreal.
Yeah, I would side in down the drain just to get rid of Guinevere's early on. And I mean, theoretically it's okay, but then the next turn they play another Guinevere. so it's not really.
You just got to down the drain them again. It's fine.
Yeah, I think if I could do anything differently, I would have focused more on getting all the combo pieces and not really worried about initial threats. Right. Just because there's so many threats available, especially in Feetsing, that you might as well just try to speed up the mechanism to bring everything back into their hand. Sorry, my dog's like growling at me to take her out.
Hey, Star. That's good, though. It's good to know exactly how the deck runs and what the weaknesses of the deck are and how you have to, a lot of this is a really good learning experience that I saw from you, and I think that you've really grown a lot, especially during this tournament. And
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I definitely see that. In any case, do you want to start going over the deck profile, tell people why you played what you played?
Sure.
Right, let me.
Sure, they're done hearing me talk about my thinking about all the matches that I had that I could have done better in. Yeah, just let me know when you're ready.
Yep, got it right here. Got ARG Maryland, 8th place, Adam Kohler.
It's actually Kohler, like the toilet.
Like the toilet. No, oh my God, yes. No relation to the toilet?
No, if I had a relation to that family, I probably wouldn't be sitting in a 1-bedroom apartment right now.
Yeah, you're right, though.
Unless it was a penthouse.
All right, so we're going to start off with the ruler. So why'd you play Mercurius in this Mercurius deck?
So from a very nerdy standpoint, I just love wizards, right? So when I saw Mercurius, I said, "Oh, I need to play her." Then I was just trying to theoretically, of course, figure out what's the best way to deal with the current metagame. Whether you think about things in terms of tiers or whatever, I was just thinking, what's the predominant decks that I'm probably going to see? So I really thought it was going to be primarily Feetsing, Mikage, and then probably some Charlotte, which it was pretty accurate, I would say. So I thought this dealt with them all fairly well because it can out-control Charlotte depending on the variant and I guess the RNG on both parties. It can definitely stop Feetsing in its tracks if you get the combo pieces that you need quick enough. And Mikage, you don't really play any resonators, so you don't really give Mikage any ping targets, I suppose. And plus, I play 4 Artemis bows for things like Stealth or Prison of Lunar Lake. Rising from the Depths, of course, that's a key staple. Space-Time Anomaly is just an incredible card for this deck because not only can you get rid of things like hooks right away if you have enough will for it, but it also enables you to draw 1 to 2 cards. Valentina, I was iffy about. I actually just had 2 slots open, and I thought, what can I have for a late game drop? Because a lot of people think, oh, well, if Mercurius' combo doesn't go off right away, then you're not going to win. But that's actually not true. I won a few games where the Rising from the Depths initially would be countered, but I still came back and won it because it's a pretty consistent deck mid to late game. The Scorns are just there for things like, getting Guibers out of the hand early on, or key threats. Titanias, I think, are incredibly important because they give things like Astaroth, Hook, and Valentina's, plus 200, etc. Astaroth, I don't want to talk too much about speculation on the Legacy Lost set, but I really think Astaroth is such a good demon, which makes me feel like Mercurius will still be pretty strong even when Soul comes out. He's not just a demon removed to put more mana counters on. He's actually a good resonator to play. I mean, for 2, you put something in play with 500 flying, and you draw a card, and you have the potential to return them back to your hand if necessary. I think that's just a lot of utility. The 4 Nameless Mist, I think, were pretty key components because you really want to get rid of things like Seal of Wind and Light, and even Wind Secluded Refuge or something like that if you're playing against 0. Summon from Memoria and Ancient Knowledge is just to get your key pieces. Hook, of course, is one of the stars of the deck. And the 2 Charlotte's Water Transformation Magic, I felt, were more than enough, just because it's really just to deal with early threats, since after 4th turn, you should be good to go.
Right.
After that.
Looking at the deck retrospectively, do you think there's anything you would have liked to change?
Yeah, I think actually I'm going to try taking out the 2 Valentinas and putting in 2 Hydromonicas, just because there were a couple times where I waited a little longer than I thought I should have to put the key pieces in my hand. And I think the Hydromonica, I really just would need 1 card or something like that. Like, for example, when I played Ryan in top 8, if I had a Hydromonica out and I could just search for the Rising from the Depths, I could have possibly stayed in the game a little longer. And also the Artemis bow, I didn't see as much stealth as I anticipated. And the only time I really saw Prison was 2nd and 3rd game, so I think it would probably be a pretty appropriate side card, although I'm still playing with the idea of what I would put in to replace it.
Yeah, how many times did you resolve the transformation magic into bow?
So in all the different locals and things like that I've played, I've done it quite a bit, but believe it or not, in Maryland, it wasn't too often. I maybe did it 2 or 3 times effectively.
Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much it for the main deck. Summon from Memoria and Ancient Knowledge did their jobs, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You just don't need the tempo. You just need the draws. You just need to fill your hand with good stuff.
Yeah, and Ancient Knowledge is amazing because you could potentially do it at the end of their 2nd turn, I guess, if you go 2nd, because you can energize, remove 2 mana counters, and then just tap your stone, play Ancient Knowledge, look at the top 5 cards, put 2 into your hand. That's pretty powerful. In terms of the stones, the reason why I went with the 3 water magic and the 4 darkness was because I wanted to make sure that I had a darkness magic, or rather darkness will, on my 1st turn, statistically. The reason for that is because I would much more rather open up with like Scorn of Dark Alice or Nameless Mist 1st turn, as opposed to a Summon from Memoria, because not only do I get to look at their hand, but I could remove some key cards from it and help my tempo.
And how often did you open with too many darkness stones compared to water stones?
Never.
Really?
Yeah, never. It was never an issue. I think mostly because the mana counters help. But yeah, it was never an issue. In fact, I never felt disappointed in what I saw from the stones. And also it helps because in such a hook-dominated metagame, even in the Feats thing, I know the whole castling into hook, it really helps. Because, for example, when I was playing Ryan, he would play hook, or he would just discard hook to Guinevere, because I had, I think, 2 water magic stones of darkness stone, and then what is it? Dark depths, deep depths. So it wasn't even really, it wasn't even really worth it to try to set me back because I had the standard stones.
Yeah, definitely. And going forward, with the new Water Darkstone coming out, do you think that's going to find a place into this deck?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Maybe I would definitely pilot it. I guess the 300, losing 300 life if it's not the right ruler, probably wouldn't really affect things too much. But yeah, I would definitely pilot it and see if it really was necessary. And the only reason why I'm hesitant is because I'm interested to see how predominant Hook is still. Because like I said, just having the regular stones really did help against people who played Hook.
Yeah, definitely. And then onto the side deck. What were the star performers here?
So Barrier of Shadows definitely down the drain was really good against things like Drake. Black Moonbeam, I have to admit, I got very, very lucky in one of my Zero matches. Zero is obviously a difficult matchup because if they can go off quickly enough, there's not really much you can do. But first game I won. Second game I drew into one Moonbeam. Then I drew into another Moonbeam. And when they attacked, he had a Wind-Secluded Refuge out, so I shot the Moonbeam at him. He used the Wind-Secluded Refuge, and then I shot the other one at him. And he basically just scooped after that. But it was definitely lucky on my part. The Death Scythe was, I think, important to have, but I never... Actually, yeah, I believe I did use it against Zero. And the Prisons are definitely amazing against... I did actually play a mirror match. I sided in the Prisons, and also against the Charlotte, who plays Hooks. I sided them in as well.
How did Shackles of Ice go today?
I actually never played it.
Really?
Yeah, I never even sided it in. I kept thinking, oh, maybe I should, but yeah, I decided not to.
Just didn't face enough that would like really get hurt by it.
Yeah. I also didn't play Mikage, so
that's very true.
Yeah, I didn't play any Mikage. I would have sided it in against.
Did you actually face any matchups where you had to deal with discard cards?
Yeah. I mean that Charlotte deck was really difficult. Yeah. I did not think I was going to win that either game. I actually went 3 games. The first game I think I lost the first game. Second game I won because my combo went off right away. And then the third game I really thought I was losing it. But for me, and in fact, Scott from Deepwood, Force of Will, he was playing, what was he playing? He was playing Mikage originally.
Yeah, he was playing Mikage.
Right? Yeah. So we were having this conversation because I found that when I would play variants that had, a lot of discard, I mean, you're using the resources to discard their hand as well. I could see it. I mean, it's very effective in a Charlotte deck because you could always just replenish your hand. But, that's definitely something to consider. If you're heavily focused on getting rid of cards from their hand, you're also getting rid of cards in your hand to do it. So it still kind of keeps the resources on par.
Right. It definitely makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
Anything you would potentially change in the side deck?
I think I actually consulted you for the side deck right before because I said I have no idea what I'm doing with this. So I think it worked out really well. I wasn't really wanting for anything else. I wasn't thinking, oh, I wish I had this in my side deck for this game. So I think it's good. I don't know if the one of Shackles is really worth it. Maybe I would put in 2 Shackles and take out the barrier. I'm sorry, the other Bear Magic. But no, other than that, I think it's good.
Yeah, we'll definitely do some discussion on that later. We'll go over it, see if we can streamline the deck even further, because you piloted this deck very well. You deserve that top 8 spot, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Because what was it? The first 2 matches you were 0-2 after the first 2, and then you climbed yourself up to a 4-2 at the end of it all?
Yeah, like I said, the first round was super close. I can't complain at all. It was such a good round. Second round, I had no experience against Valentina, so I didn't really know what to expect or what to do. And I actually thought I was out of the tournament after that, but I was able to win the next 4 rounds.
Yeah, I remember
So
your exact words were, "I'm gonna go sell all my shit."
yeah, pretty much. I was like, because there were a couple of times where, and of course there's the randomness of the game. I completely understand that, but one of the biggest components of being good at card games is being able to understand statistics and probability, right? And to kind of do a risk analysis. And so many times, statistically, there should have been no reason why I shouldn't have drawn something, or my opponent should have drawn something, and it just happened to either go in my favor or their favor. So I definitely was on tilt the first two rounds, but I came back from it. I feel better.
No, I feel that. I definitely feel that. There were definitely a lot of people who felt the effects of variance that day.
Mm.
A lot of good players who just couldn't get it right. But
Yeah.
you found your exact niche. You found what you needed to do, and man, I'm proud of you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
You did great. Looking to see more
Appreciate it.
tops from you in the future, of course.
Yes, yes, I hope so.
And also, all you out there in YouTube land, go check out Adam's website. It's insearchofwill.com.
Com.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, it is .com.
There's still a lot of content that needs to be put on there. I'm unfortunately a very busy time in my life, but I'm trying to come up with new content. If anybody's interested in contributing, you're more than welcome. It was really just something, because for me, I'm the type of person that when I get into something, I want to find resources and as much information as possible. But it was very difficult for me to navigate through all the different Force of Well information. I mean, Grinning Remnant is definitely a huge resource, and all the people on the Reddit forums, and now you've added me to all the Facebook pages, so I appreciate that.
Of course.
So yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do with In Search of Will. I appreciate the shout out. So feel free to check it out, comment, let me know what I should change, what you're interested in seeing, and definitely get in touch with me on Reddit if you want to contribute in any way.
Yeah, definitely. So, again, this has been the lovely Adam Kohler, or Adam Kober, whatever you want to call him. And this has been Mike Rance from Deepwood Force of Will. Again, congratulations to our Mr. Top 8 man here. It's going to be really nice to see him at our locals, flaunting his Mercurius deck again. And thanks for watching, everyone. Feel free to leave some comments down below. Like the video, subscribe, go check out In Search of Will, and yeah, we'll catch you guys later.
Thanks, Mike.